Good morning, ladies and gentlemen from Ballet International, and to all the people who will be watching this new interview. We have a prestigious artist of ballet in our interview. Her name is Madame Mara Galeazzi. She has been studying and working and dancing in Italy, and then she traveled to England, where she was a former principal ballerina of the Royal Ballet. So it is an honor to have such a personality of dance in our interview today. And I feel really so happy. I wasn't never expecting to have an important ballerina during an interview. Hello, Mara Galeazzi. How are you
Hello.
doing?
Good morning. I'm sorry. I think we had a little glitch of disconnection for a few seconds.
Don't worry. We have to consider the distance, because now you are in which country are you now?
I live in Oman, and the internet here is always very, very complicated.
Oh.
So I'm really sorry if we have moments, but
No problem.
Thank you for having me for your interview. I'm very, very pleased to be here, and it's an honor for me to be interviewed by you and to have a nice chat together. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so pleased. I will call you directly Mara instead to say
please do,
Mara.
please.
It's much better. And so how did you start ballet, and who in your family motivated you or encouraged you to start to love the art of ballet?
Right. Originally, I started as a sort of hobby when I was 6 years old in my town with a school from Johanna Hoffman, very English teacher. So if we see later, it's quite a connection to at the end. It's very interesting to see that I had an English teacher since age 6. So I started really as a hobby, because I used to do piano lessons, singing, swimming, I used to also love playing football too. My mom used to tell me that she loved ballet and she used to dance when she was a child. But unfortunately, because of costs and cost living, her father couldn't afford to send her to ballet school. So maybe it's something that she passed me, I don't know. But I started to really love ballet much later in my teenage life. At the beginning, I think for me it was sort of like a play, a sort of way to express myself, to liberate my feelings. So it was fun for me to dress up and dance on stage, and also the discipline as well. I think it was very, so I think that the passion really, probably I had it, I didn't know. So it started much later when I realized how much, I loved it.
Yes. And then how did you join the ballet school of Scala? Because I know that.
Yeah, there was a notice on a newspaper, and a friend of my mom kind of noticed it. And sort of she showed my mother and said, why don't you send your daughter to auditions at the academy in Milan? And my mom was like, oh my God, I don't know. I mean, I could try, but it must be very difficult to get in. So she asked me, and I said, okay, why not? Without even thinking about the consequences of what I had to go through, what I had to do, you know.
Yeah.
So we participate for the examinations, and then I passed all of them. So my mom couldn't go back and say, okay, you know. So after passing the examinations, then I joined the school. It used to be in the same building as the Teatro La Scala company.
Yes.
Now they moved. So it used to be an ente autonomo, so it was supplied by the government.
Yes.
So we literally end up from 100 kids. I was one of the 11th chosen. So yeah. So my mom's like, oh, I did it. So she has to go now.
And who were your teachers at La Scala?
Well, my very first teacher, of course. My very first teacher was Antonietta Cozzi, which she was so wonderful. And we actually still in touch. So we still in touch. We send each other messages. Sometimes we call, and so I have a very lovely relationship left from the school with her. She was really wonderful, and then after the third year was Amelia Colombini, and which she taught me right till the end of the graduation.
Yes.
And of course, the director was Anna Maria Prina, which we're still also in touch, and she's wonderful.
She's a wonderful person, Mrs.
She's got such an amazing sense of humor now. When we were at school, we were all like scared of her because she was quite severe, but severe in a nice way, not in a nasty way.
Yes.
And she really taught us to be disciplined, and but at the same time also to encourage us to be who we are as well.
Yes.
So she was wonderful, and of course all of them. Like I had Alessandra Alessandresco. She taught me character classes. We had wonderful. I had a really good memory of the school, even though it was tough, obviously.
And you are still in touch with all the other students that were studying with you, I think.
I am in touch with two of them. One is Deborah Gismondi. I'm kind of in touch with her, but
not directly.
Yeah. But I remain very, very close friend with Francesca Dolci, who used to be a dancer at the English National Ballet. Yeah. And then she moved to Monte Carlo, and now she's assistant director there. We remain very good friends, so it's wonderful, yeah.
And so from the Scala of Milan, how did you started moving to England? I mean, what made you move and decide to go to audition and to work at the Royal Ballet?
Okay, that's a very interesting story. I think Anna Maria Prina is going to listen to this. So basically, Misha Messerer, who's a wonderful coach, wonderful teacher, was invited to choreograph a piece for the school performance for La Scala. I was the last year. And then of course he took me on the side and he said, I think you should audition for the Royal Ballet. So I was like even dreaming of that. I said, really, really seriously, like, my God, this is amazing. So we went, he took me a weekend. So I had to leave on the Friday night to London and audition on the Saturday. And that was end of April, beginning of May or something like that in 1992. And I stayed at friends of Misha Messerer house. And of course, I didn't speak English, so he took me to the audition on the Saturday. They were having performance at the Opera House, so I had to go to Covent Garden and audition with the company in the big studio.
Wow.
So yeah, it was like amazing. Then of course I walk in and everyone's looking at you and stuff.
So how was your feeling, your impact when you first arrived in England to make this audition in the ballet studio, and you couldn't speak English? You only do ballet, but you didn't speak one word of English. So you were completely alien to what they were you were listening. How was the impact?
Well, luckily, Misha Messer spoke Italian, so
oh, good.
Yeah, that really helped. So obviously, he was translating everything to Sir Anthony Dowell and to myself. So so when I arrived at the company, obviously, I just got this. My only memory is just to walk on the studio, the Valois studio was big studio. See so many people in a rehearsal or something. I don't know if I remember. And the teacher was Anna Anderson, and Betty Anderson, which she's been teaching the Royal Ballet for many, many years. Very British technique, very quick, Frederick Ashton, so the footwork. So for me, I was like, oh my God, when we got to the center, it was so unfamiliar to me.
Was it,
the work, because obviously.
Did you feel a difference between the Italian school and of La Scala?
Yeah, very. Yeah, the jump section was so fast, and it was very difficult for me to pick it up as well. So because that's what Royal Ballet really are trained for, a very quick footwork and very bendy body, and Ashton type of
technique. Yes.
So I was a bit like, wow. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, but I remember Dame Monica Mason was watching class, and Sir Anthony Dowell as well. And at the end of class, obviously, they went to speak to Misha Messerer, and they said to him, look, we would like Mara to join the company in middle of May, end of May, something like that, to take her on the Japanese tour. So he explained to me, and I was like, oh my God, that's right away, so but I said, I don't know, where did I get that courage to say, look, I have a few months, like 2 months left from graduation, and I really don't want to throw all the work that I did in 8 years at the school. I really want to graduate and finish. And if they would like me to join the company, I would be very happy to join the company later on in the year, like the new season or something. So, I mean, that was courageous of me, because they could have said, okay, no, we don't want you, So I had to go back in July and audition with 2 other Spanish girls, and in the middle of August, middle of August, I think they contacted my father, who didn't speak English as well. It was really funny, and they said Mara's got a job from the 12th of September. So 3 of us got the job inside the Royal Ballet, and we were actually the very first 3 dancers coming from outside the school. So normally they would just take students from the Royal Ballet into the company, and I don't know, but Anthony Dowell started to take people from outside and then just really mix the company up.
Yes.
So it was really, really, oh my God, I screamed.
But then slowly you got used to the type of work, that type of class that you were doing with, and who were your teachers while working with the company when you started? Anthony Dowell or Monica Mason?
No, Anthony Dowell was the director of the company,
Who was
but
teaching? He wasn't.
No. It was Monica Mason was coaching.
Yes.
And we had Gerd Larsen, who used to coach the solist. Then we had Alexander Agajanov, who's still there now. Yeah. But most of them, they coached the principal level.
Yes.
I was corps de ballet, obviously, when I joined the company, and we had the ballet mistress and the ballet master.
Yes.
Ballet master was Christopher Carr. He was so strict but incredible. You know, he's very attached to his Frederick Ashton work. So he really taught us the right, correct, way to dance Frederick Ashton. That was his top quality of teaching. Amazing. We had also guest teachers coming from outside, all sort of wonderful guest teachers. And then of course within the time, some of them remained and some of them left. And we had new coach, like the ballerinas who stopped dancing started to coach. So evolved within the years. We changed the teaching, and also as you change the rank, you had different coach.
And how many years did you stay in corps de ballet before passing to former principal ballerina when they promoted you?
In Royal Ballet, you have to go through 5 ranks. It's quite a lot, So you really have to
work hard.
You really have to work hard and climb up those stairs. I was promoted very slowly. Not the first years, very quickly. So the first year, after 2 years, I was promoted to first artist. So as you artist, first artist, like a lead corps de ballet. And then very soon to solist. That took me quite a while to get to the solist work. Even though I was dancing as a corps de ballet, I was dancing principal roles already and solist role. So, and then my Firebird, I did Firebird, I covered the Firebird performance. I got promoted to first solist, and then Monica Mason promoted me in 2003 to principal dancer. So it took quite a while, but I don't regret that, because obviously when you get too much too soon, you get bored. So I think it's not really bored, but I think you burn quickly,
maybe because also you get used to it and you want more and more and more.
Of course.
And you're never happy of what you have.
So and I remember Anthony and Monica Mason, they used to give me a little, little
gift,
sweet
passions.
And saying, and make me even want more, so work harder to get to it. So I had to really work hard to really push myself to get to that level. And even after I was promoted to principal, I didn't relax. I thought I need to be even better. I need to be even more responsible, and
it encourages you to work more and more and more.
Of course, yeah.
What I like in the work of the Royal Ballet England is that the atmosphere and the teachers that are working, maybe not all of them, but some of them, not often they tell you, bravo, you have been doing this very well, or maybe they call you aside and they will tell you, this is good, but you should improve that a little bit better. But at least you listen to also the positive things that you do. While in some other ballet companies, it's very difficult to have a teacher who will tell you, Mara, this is good. In some other ballet companies, it's rare that a teacher will, you really have to work for months until you get the combination completely right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think it also depends on the personality.
Yeah.
What was good in Royal Ballet was that they would treat people with going with their personality too, because,
yes,
for example, I at the beginning I'm quite sensitive. I used to cry a lot for a lot of things, you know. So they wanted to tough me up a bit in that sense. But they knew that I could take it, you know, though
you were taken by emotions, so you will cry.
Yeah. So I had coach when I used to do principal roles that, you know, maybe they would say to me, you can do more, because I was not good enough. And then they knew exactly that the next day I would give more. Because I was also like a sponge, you know. Every correction they would give me, I would take, you know, which maybe possibly because I was not principal yet and I was still within very young age called the ballet and solist, and I had to really work hard on it. But I had, I mean, many times after the show, they said it was wonderful. I had, even if we had a little moments of doubt or mistake, for them, as long as the show within the whole contest was good. And then of course I had moments where they came up to me and said, I was a little bit disappointed, I thought you could do better than that, you know. And sometimes it was difficult because they would not even thank you, and so you would like, oh, why they didn't come to the dressing room, was it that bad? So we kind of like, if I didn't hear from them, means it was very bad. But I also had a teacher who they would really push and push and push, because they knew the more they would say that it was not good enough, I would show them more.
Yes.
But that's because it's my personality. I'm not giving up because you're telling me it was not good enough. So they knew that mentally this was my drive.
Yes.
But then with some other people, they wouldn't do that. They would go, no, no, you were lovely, or you were lovely, it was good, you know, because they knew about their personality. So it's very much like that in the Royal Ballet. I mean, when I was in the Royal Ballet, I don't know how it is now, maybe changed because of, you know, becoming more, I would say this is a younger company now, and I don't know, Kevin is wonderful, but I think when I joined the company, there was that generation that it was less of us and bigger stars. Yeah. So now it's like everyone is good, everyone is treated the same, and things change. You know, you can't now be harsh on the person. You have to be careful. You know, it's all this government thing that, you know, public thing, and so it's changed a lot, but which I can understand.
Well, it has changed maybe in the positive way also, I think.
Of course, yeah, it gives you, I mean, you're more stimulated to
Yes.
feel confident. You know, I mean, I have so much insecurity with myself. You know, it took me to study acting to be able to gain some confidence, because you know, you're always told that you were not good enough, this and this and that. At school, the same, you know. You carry all your life this psychological insecurity, but at the same time, it strengthened me because, in a way, it made me push, it made me get better.
Yes. Well, the ballet discipline has helped you to, especially because you were linked with ballet. But then I think, as you say, when you started acting, it gives you more confidence, and it gives you the opportunity to open a new door and to mix the ballet technique with the acting. And this also has improved your personality, because you become a more secure person with your personality, with your inner soul, how you talk, how you behave on stage, and how you can talk also to big personalities of dance.
But also I think, sorry, Jean, I think also, you know, the dance world, you know, we've been taught to do every day. That is that. So even when you're in the company, you've been told to do that. You know, you have, of course, I had the freedom of interpretation. But also they knew I had a really natural interpretation, but still, you know, I had coach who told me, no, that's too much, doesn't, you know, but we were told to do, this is the way, you do it that way. Okay. So when I started my acting lessons with Monica, I'm sure you know Monica Maiorino. She's a theater actress from Rome. She's Italian. She told me one day, she said, you need to forget to be a dancer when you do the acting, because what we do, we learn the technique, that's done. Like you do in the ballet, it's disciplined, you learn the technique, you have to practice, but then you have to put it on the side, and then you're not told what to do, unless he's a film director or a theater director who tells you what you need to do. But at the end, it's your individuality. You're the actress. You have that freedom to be who you are, how you want to be. You know, so you need to forget as well the hardness that you give dancers give themselves. I must train every day. I must do that. Within the acting, it's not that. You need to give a break. You need to relax. You need to. So that really helped me within my profession too. I just performed at Sadler's Wells last month, after a long time, after a year. This group piece in the big stage, and I was relaxed. I wasn't nervous. You know, I had the adrenaline, but I didn't have that. Oh my God, you know.
You were not anxious. You were not anxious.
No, and I was like, I'm gonna play. You know, I'm gonna have fun. You know, and that's why I used to approach my roles as well when I was in the company. I was nervous more maybe in the classical world, because obviously it's a little bit, you have to concentrate on the technique and all that. But as soon as it was something that it felt so comfortable for me, I would just go in there and play, you know. But the acting has helped me even more to discover a lot of things that, you know, I had.
So acting means to talk on stage, and also with some mime, because you must mime the role that you are doing. Did you find it difficult acting in Italian or in English?
It's a very interesting question. That's a tricky one. Yeah, no. For the Italian, at the beginning, I was struggling. I think it's because even though it's my first language, but I don't speak it. I feel more comfortable to speak in English. Is more fluent, obviously, because I speak it every day.
Yes.
The Italian, I have to think about it, how to pronounce the word, you know. But the difficulty of the Italian is that I come from the north. I have an accent, and I have
a Milanese accent.
You know, it's very open, and then you know, the dictions and you know, this kind of thing. So I had to learn again to be a white page.
Yes.
So that's Italian. So so to memorize that and to keep it, I mean, I'm still doing mistakes, you know. It was hard work, and also to lose the inflections as well, you know. So you have to be very black and white there.
Yes.
It was challenging. It is challenging. It's better now, obviously, because I already perform. I can do it.
Yeah.
The English side, I think maybe my English is not perfect, but I feel more natural.
It becomes more natural.
When I have to do a monologue, I'm more natural to it. Yeah. Even if my English is not perfect, obviously, because there's a lot of accent there that I mistake, and you know, but I feel that more natural to talk.
Yes.
And because I don't have to think in Italian, I have to think of the diction.
Yes.
So it kind of stops me from be like
distracts you a little
relaxed,
bit. Yes. So then
it's like,
from England you moved to Oman, or you went to work to Australia?
No, from London.
Yes.
I moved to Oman.
Yes.
And then I kind of work as a freelancer. So in 2013, I left the Royal Ballet, and then I moved to Oman with my husband and my daughter. I mean, my husband was already here working at the Royal Opera House here.
Yes.
And then I just started freelancing. I went to Australia, I went back to UK, back to Royal Ballet twice as a guest. I worked with Wayne McGregor Company.
Yes.
Met so many lovely artists, you know, like
I know that you have met a very good artist that he worked also in South Africa for Pact Ballet. His name is Tim Podesta.
Oh yes, Tim. Yeah, wonderful Tim. Yeah, I worked a lot with him.
Yes.
Started to we're very close friends, and we work together, and we've done some wonderful things together. I think he created for me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 pieces. So
he choreographed something for you.
Yeah, about 5, 6 pieces. Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah. And unfortunately, since lockdown, we haven't managed to get together because Australia is so far.
Yes. Well, we have 24 hours flights to go to Australia.
Well, from here is less. From here is about 14 hours, 15 hours. But still, you know, it's still 14, 15 hours.
Yes.
So I absolutely loved working with him. I actually would love to get back in the studio and work with him again. But I just recently also worked with James Pett from Fabula Collective, and he's wonderful as well. I've really enjoyed his very contemporary, obviously, very contemporary dance, but contemporary that I can manage, because obviously I'm not a contemporary dancer. But it was very, very useful for me to work with him, because they're really contemporary dancers, and try to help me how to feel the body. And
yes. And what were the roles in ballet, principal roles that you were dancing that you loved the most?
love the most?
Yeah.
Well, the one I love the most, obviously, is Mara Galeazzi from Sir Kenneth Macmillan choreography, because it was my very first principal role and my very last in the Royal. I have a great memory of the learning process.
Yes.
And of course, I have a DVD. So it's something that really will always stay in my heart, this role, for a lot of reasons, not just for the role, but for many other reasons, like the timing, the working process, everything. And then, of course, Manon, one of my favorite roles, Onegin, Tatiana in Onegin, Giselle, I love Giselle, Romeo and Juliet, all these kind of dramatic role, you know, as you can see. My favorite classic, my favorite classic was Giselle, of course. But my favorite tutu classic for me was first movement, Symphony in C, Balanchine.
Yes. Well, Balanchine is a different.
And of course the Firebird, but those are more dramatic. I'm talking about the really technical, classical tutu. That's really, I really enjoy. I've got such a fond memory of it, that it is just the glamorous of the whole piece. But then, you know, there's so many roles that I love, you know, that, I mean, all the repertoire from Kenneth Macmillan for me is my favorite. Frederick Ashton, some of his work is just extraordinary. But I can go to extreme of Virginia Woolf, Forks, Wayne McGregor, or Chroma, Fokine. I've done so many. I mean, I have done so much repertoire, and one of the choreographers I loved working with was Glenn Tetley. Biggest fan. I adored him. Unfortunately, I was too young to get too close to him as a person, you know. So I was always like, Glenn, you know, even though he had something, for me to, you know, he loved my artistry, loved my courage, and as a young dancer. But I mean, I have a list of things that I've done that it's.
Do you think that between a dancer and a choreographer or an artistic director, it's important to have a good relationship? A good friend relationship with the choreographer or with the artistic director.
Absolutely.
Because this helps you also to, from one hand, it motivates you and it helps your technique also, because you feel more confident. But from the other, also you feel more secure, because you feel in that person someone to whom open your heart and to talk. You know, sometimes it happens in a ballet company that when you see a choreographer, your dancers are a little bit scared. Coach. And did you had this feeling with?
I mean, I had when I joined. I had a very wonderful relationship with Ashley Page, who, after he left the Royal Ballet, was the artistic director of the Scottish Ballet. We had a really wonderful relationship in the studio. There was a friendship, and but also a really professional work relationship when we were in the studio.
Yes.
He even when I was 19, he treated me like an adult, you know, and that's, I think I found that so important.
Yes.
To have that. I loved working with him. I never had any bad day with him, or he was always very nice, very understanding, giving, funny. We have to have so much fun. I think that's what the main thing. I think, yes, you need to keep your profession really serious, but if you don't have fun in the studio to work, then just don't do it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
You have to have fun. Even you have to keep the serious, you know, you have to keep the discipline and everything, but you got to have fun. And that's what I had when I was in Royal. I had fun. I would go in the studio. There were moments which I was scared of people in the studio because I was young and, you know, I didn't quite understand. But at the end of the day, I was having fun in the studio. It was hard work, but that, you know, and within the years, of course, you build a relationship with people because you grow up, you get older.
Yes.
You have a different kind of
approach with other people.
Approach, relationship, you know, maturity, which is incredible, you know.
I think you also become more friendly with the people who are in the same situation like you, who have the same problems like you. So you become more friendly, you know, with another ballerina who is trying like you to improve and to work hard, and you know, so you form like a team in the ballet. So you're not alone, but you are with three people having the same problem, and this is nice because it gives you the feeling like being in a big family.
Yeah, it's you know, you spend every day together, you know, so close, so intimate, that it becomes like they know exactly your moods, your personality, everything about you. That it's not like when you work in the office and then you know your colleagues, you know, it's such a close, intimate relationship. And that's why I struggle when I moved here. I miss so much that warmth and
the atmosphere,
socializing, and but not just the socialize, the physical touch. You know how important the physical touch of the human is. And that's why I think dancers experience it's the human touch. And I missed it. I missed that, you know. In fact, every year that I knew I had to do a performance in the summer, I was really looking forward to being in the studio with someone and to be hold and touch, you know. It's a different sensation than when you have with your husband or with your daughter. I mean, there is a humanity there, but it's not the same. It's more artistry than
ballet is ballet. You cannot get rid of this feeling.
No, you can't. It will remain and it will never go. It will never leave you, you know, and you will always miss it.
Has ever the Royal Ballet been touring in Oman while you were there?
No. No, because the season here finishes in May.
Oh.
So, because it gets too hot. So the season finish at the end of May. And of course the Royal Ballet tours, I think, in the summer. So
did you ever started teaching yourself?
I did lots of summer schools, students, private lessons. I did some coaching when I was in Royal Ballet to the principals. Not many, but enough. Yeah. And then yeah, occasionally I do teach. It's one of the things that I get asked often is to teach little ones, which I love. I love doing it, but I keep telling them I'm not. I'm not. How do you say?
Familiar with this?
Yeah, yes and no. Every time I say to the kids, I can teach you, but I can give you some advice of the, but to do like everyday classes, I needed to have preparations. You need to study how to teach to very, very young ones.
Yes.
So when I teach online, they want me to coach. I tend to give them really basic
advice.
Basic exercise, and how to hold the hands or the arm and the stomach and the posture, rather than just speed class, because they're too young. And also on video, I just find it really, it would be unfair as well. It's not. So for me to give classes with the young, it's for them because, principal dancer or ballet gives class, but at the same time you think, okay, yeah, I can do that, but I couldn't do on the basics of everyday life. But the older ones, yes, of course, I'm more familiar to the teaching. The little one, they're very sweet. It's kind of I always apologize. Look, but I'm not qualified, for. But this is what I can give you.
Well, I think after all, they appreciate even the little advice that you give them, because I think your advices are very important also,
Yeah, I think that's what I think, and I try to pass, all the things I've learned from very young age. I'll pass to them, and also little tricks and little things that are very important. Maybe just an advance also from a professional to kind of tell them, remember, this is not about just the technique, but there's also other things in there that you need to learn. It's not just about the pirouette, it's not just about the highlights, there's a lot to it, and they love it, and I get the parents to call, to want me to teach them, so because they're enjoying it, and that's what makes me happy, as long as they enjoy and they love it. But then I don't go that further than that.
So far.
If they invite me to teach in a summer school, I tend to say age 14 on.
Yes, but not the little ones, not the little ones.
Even maybe 13, 12 maximum, but before that, I tend not to do those classes.
Yeah, I know that. Yes, I think that at the Royal Ballet there are some for people who want to become teachers. There are classes that you can get a diploma, and after a few years, you become a good ballet mistress for all type of ages. I mean,
yes.
So, and a little question. So you have been dancing also in a Balanchine ballet.
Yes.
Do you think that the technique from Europe, I mean, what I mean by Europe, Italy, and England, even if they are different, it's totally different from United States?
Yeah.
So
I mean, not the technique, obviously.
no,
Technique
no,
is
but the type of ballet
the
and
style.
choreography.
Yeah, I think so. I think, especially coming from the Royal Ballet, I believe that we always had fantastic coach from Balanchine Trust.
Yeah.
And of course, if we wouldn't suit the Balanchine, they wouldn't even, cast people. But there is I think what, for me, this is a personal opinion. The American, they grew up with that. Okay, they grew up with that style, so they I think they're more free.
Yeah.
They look more free when they dance it, and then much more in a bigger sort of scale, like wider, bigger. When we performed it at Royal, yes, it is Balanchine. It is the technique of Balanchine, the style of Balanchine, but there is still like a little bit of a conservative to it. It's reserved.
Yeah, I understand.
So you understand.
Yeah.
It goes beyond what it has to, but then it stops somewhere. It doesn't go as,
It doesn't go any further from that line. Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's still beautiful because there is a different quality to it.
Yeah.
It's the same choreography, but there is a little different quality, which you can like it or not like it, but but it's not disaster. It's beautiful too.
Yes.
But I think it is different. Definitely, it's when I watch a Balanchine piece done by New York City Ballet, it's oh wow, it's like it's different.
Yes. I know that at the Scala of Milan, the ballet school, and I think also the ballet company, but more the ballet school, they were more linked with the Vaganova method. Do you think that if when you were young, still frequenting the ballet school of the Scala, they would have given you the opportunity to go to Russia and specialize yourself and get a diploma, or in St. Petersburg or in Moscow, that would have changed your life?
We went to a Vaganova school during the year of the school, La Scala school with, gosh, I was very young. We kind of went with the Rome Academy. It was a mixed group from Milan and Rome, and we went to Russia to the Vaganova school for an experience.
Yes.
It was just few of us. I mean, we had what Anna Maria Prina did is she really had mixed the French Cecchetti and Russian Vaganova technique. So I think we were pretty much working on that kind of level of technique. I mean, if I watch the diploma, just a few years ago, I watched it and I can't believe I was doing that sort of stuff. I was like, really? Wow. So if I would have gone maybe to Russia to study, I'm not sure it would have been right for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Because my physicality was really not like Russian dancer.
Yeah.
Maybe some of my friends at school, yes, but I was the most different one in the class.
Yes.
And that's why I think Misha Messer, when he saw me at the Royal.
Yeah.
because he saw something very similar to the English style.
Yes.
It might have helped me a little bit, maybe, in something, especially the arms, the port de bras, and all this kind of thing. Yeah, I think it would have been great to have that experience at least for a year or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and in France, have you ever worked in France?
I loved it. I was a big fan of Paris Opera. Oh my God, when I was a child, I used to love Paris Opera. Also because we had a lot of guests coming in La Scala company. We had so many French guests from Paris Opera. So for me, it was very familiar.
Yeah.
And of course, Sylvie Guillem and Laurent Hilaire, Manuel Legris, and Noel, Rudolf Nureyev brought so many dancers from there too. Yeah, I was a big fan of Paris Opera.
Yeah.
And we had some teachers also in Royal
And
Ballet.
you have never danced in Opera of Paris?
Yes, once.
Once? Which ballet
Yes.
did you dance?
I danced with Carlos Acosta in a gala. Yeah, it was a mixed gala with Royal Ballet and Paris Opera dancers organized by the company.
Yeah.
And I danced Voices of Prince on the Paris Opera stage for Opera de Garnier. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's actually, I have to say, the Bolshoi Theater and the Paris Opera was the two theater I danced with, which was incredible because they, you know, they have that theater atmosphere, you know, like really beautiful. And Paris Opera is just extraordinary. You know, for me,
it's the big elegant house. And
the entrance, you know, it's like, I mean, the whole thing. So I was very fortunate to dance there. Very fortunate, yeah.
Are you still in contact with Carlos Acosta?
Yeah, I actually recently saw him and also Darcy Bassel in London when I was in London. And yeah, sometimes we are in touch. Sometimes he's also very busy. He's got a family, you know.
Yeah, because I know that Carlos Acosta now is directing a ballet company in England.
Birmingham Royal Ballet. Yes.
So wouldn't that be a good chance for you to introduce you not as a dancer, but maybe as a coach in the future for the professional dancers?
Yeah, I can always, you know, try to.
No, you never know.
He actually once kind of spoke to me and said, well, you know, anytime call me up, you know, and see what happens. So I mean, it's I think at the moment, because it's only been, you know, especially after the pandemic, I think it's been a very difficult time to trying to keep everything going with the company as well, you know. And that really destroyed a lot of financial situation and things like that. So but yeah, no, I'm sure he if I would approach him, he and I believe if I was maybe living in UK or in Europe, it would have been easier for me to go back and
so what about the situation in Oman, the artistic situation? Would you think there would be any possibility that ballet could grow in Oman? How would be the response of the audience, you know, to have the children studying ballet? Would that be a difficult task, difficult thing to create?
I don't see it growing.
Mm.
Only because I've been here 9 years.
Mm.
I know they said it will take 10 to 11 to 15 years to really get used to it here. There are company who comes from abroad, invited at the opera house here, you know, beautiful company, but it never growed outside.
Mm.
So like, yes, it's great. They have these beautiful shows.
Yeah.
The audience, mixed audience, you know, expat and Omani, they go and watch performance, they enjoy, but that as far as it goes, I think.
Yes.
And that's how I see it.
Yes.
Yes, there are lots of little girls. I've had girls calling me Omani that want to do ballet. They came to the class, but then they get to a certain age that, what are you going to do?
Yeah. They have to stop, many of them. Yes.
Yeah, because, you know, unless they dance with their, you know, traditional clothes.
Yes.
But then also here, I have to say, in Oman, they're very open-minded.
Yes.
And who knows, it might happen. You know, it might happen, but it takes time. I mean, this is already amazing. They brought an opera house here and they're quite open with tutus,
Yes.
dance. I think I found it extraordinary and then beautiful.
Yes.
And to be honest, Oman is probably one of the places that it's really nice to be.
Yes.
Because they, as I said, they are really open-minded and they're really trying
Yes.
to be as open as possible.
Yes.
But in terms, there are ballet schools around here. There are ballet schools here. There are lots of kids that are doing dance, expat, obviously. But there are interest on Omani girls that love ballet, you know.
Yes.
But obviously, because of the situation, of the traditions and situation here, it's complicated.
Yes. Yes, I understand. I understand you very well because I had the same situation when I was in Egypt and in Morocco. So I understand what is your idea. So what during the pandemic, I have been following all your personal history of the pandemic, that you were stuck in Oman and you couldn't travel, as many of us couldn't travel.
Yeah.
They couldn't take the plane and they couldn't. But you had a great problem. You had the problem of your father, who was ill, and you wanted to go to see him in Milan, but you were stuck in Oman because due to the lockdown, to the curfew and everything.
Yeah.
And so could you describe the situation? Because I think that you, as an emotional person, that when you were young, maybe you were crying during ballet, you know, and how did you support that for yourself? Was it tough for you? Was it difficult for you?
I must say, it was really hard. I have to be honest with you, because it was right. I remember my mother was here because I was in 2029. Was it 19? 20? Sorry, 20. Now I can't remember. But in 2020, I was in London in February, and my mom was here in Oman, and my dad went to hospital while she was here in Oman, but for other reasons, like really check-up reason.
Yes.
I arrived from London here, and my mom flew 2 days later, and it was February, and she managed to go back to Italy. Thank God for that. And then in March, that's when everything happened. So it was like my dad passed away on the 13th of March of COVID. And obviously my mom was alone, isolated at home, she couldn't see him. But I was happy that she managed to go back. And obviously they closed everything down. I mean, there was no flights from March till up to October 2020. Only special flights organized by the Italian embassy, the consulate, but only for the people that worked at the consulate. They were allowed
only for the diplomats.
And also, yeah, diplomats, basically. When I tried to fly back to see mom, because obviously she wasn't with my brother, but I wanted to be there for dad. They didn't help, literally, like, okay. So, and the only flight I managed to book was July 2020 to go and to be able to do a service for that, because they blessed him. I mean, my mom received the ashes at home. So, I mean,
it was too late when you arrived.
Well, July I booked, and then they canceled again, and here they again locked down again. So I had to cancel the flight. So the next flight was October 2020. So 6 months later, I managed to go back to Italy, and we did the service in October when I went to Italy. And I mean, those 6 months for me was, I don't know. I'm a very strong person, you know. I can really handle the situations, and you know, I got really thick skin from after the school. Doing ballet really toughened me up. But those 6 months were excruciating, because obviously here there was nothing to do. You couldn't go out. You were allowed one person to go to the supermarket, and you know, Maya was at home school. My daughter, she struggled too, you know, because going through that emotions of my dad and me, and the school and the lockdown, everything, you know. And here they open up much later, everything, you know. It's like, even when I returned October, I returned back here, they locked down again. Till the year after. So, and then it was, yeah, I mean, when we did the service in Italy, and then they asked me to read, it was a disaster. It was a disaster.
You can imagine.
I couldn't speak, you know, and it was horrible because of the situation, you know, because how it happened, and you know, but yeah, I was a little bit of a state. And then of course the year after, in February, my husband's father died as well of COVID. So within a year we had to, so yeah. And my brother also was, I think the same year, was in hospital because they were not vaccination yet. So also my brother nearly died of COVID as well. So we had 1 year which was like, oh my God, you know.
It was a terrible year.
Oh, but you know, at the same time I was thinking, okay, this is happening, but the whole world is going through the same. Yes. You know, everyone.
You are not the only one, but
I'm not on my own, you know. And of course it is horrible because I mean, it's, but I really grieved for so long that I didn't mind to talk about it. I don't mind to talk about it. For example, my mom struggled talking about it still.
Yes. I think what gave you the courage to talk about it, and that you have been reacting in this way, it is thanks to all the ballet career that you had, because it's the ballet who made you a strong person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you were not a dancer, I don't think you would react
I wouldn't cope
in the same way.
No, I think you're right. I think you're totally right. I agree with you. It's the coping level. Yeah, we have a very high a barrier of coping with things, because we, from very young age we had to.
Yes.
Sometimes I say to my daughter, she's 10 now and she will be 11 next year. I say, when I was your age, I was in college, okay, and I had to do my own bag, my own bed, I had to prepare everything for school, and she was like, really? And I said, yeah. So that's why I'm giving you a responsibility now. In the morning, it's good for you. You take a responsibility now because you're growing up, and then, I help you, but you also have to take responsibility. But they don't understand because they're here with us.
Yes.
But if they will go in a college, they will understand, because that's what we did from age 10.
Yes. Well,
sometimes it's positive and sometimes it's negative.
Yes. Have you ever choreographed?
Yeah, I have. Not much. Yeah, not much. My first choreography was 2016. Was it 2016? Yes, I think so. Hold on, I've got it here in my diary, because I wrote some stuff for you down, which is just more about dates, not about remembering. 2015, yes, 16. My first solo was Remembrance, and I choreographed. It was a solo on me because I had no one here to choreograph on. So I was here alone in my studio, and I did a choreography on myself, which is terribly hard. Then that's right. Then I created a duet for two extraordinary ballet dancers from Basel Company, contemporary dancers, but I made a look a kind of
mixture between classic and
yeah, it was really nice. Actually, it was quite interesting to watch, which they performed twice, one in Spain and one in Germany. They performed in two or three different places, which it was a beautiful duet.
Yes.
About 9 minutes long or something, 8 minutes, 9 minutes long. And then I choreographed the piece during the lockdown, which it was filmed. And then I choreographed for a King's International Academy School during lockdown. I choreographed online a piece for the school. What else? That's it. Yeah. And I'm just about to do something which I can't say.
Something new.
Something new, but I can't really say yet what.
No, it's better to wait.
No, yeah, but I think it's going to be big. It's going to be.
So I wish you all good.
Hopefully, I think it's going to be getting there. It's really hard for me because I don't have dancers here, so it's like everything is like created on me, and then I'm going. I don't like it on myself, It's like.
Yeah. Well, you never know, because maybe some people could like your work as a choreographer and could invite you in some ballet companies to create something for the ballet academy. You never know, what you do now is a little thing, could be a passepartout key that could open many doors in different ways, because not for your name, because you are already an important person.
No,
but for the quality and for the experience, especially also for the passion and the love and the seriousness that you are giving in your work. You see, you have many. You have so many potentials, Mara. You have so many.
I just need to have the right time to kind of, because I love, for me I want to put dance and acting together, and then of course doing the acting separate as well, because I do actually love acting separate.
Yes.
But also I want to combine both, which I love it.
Yeah.
But and I love. I'm very passionate about also filming.
Yes.
I love filming, but not just filming. a simple film.
Yes.
I like to kind of, in fact, I'm actually doing a little course online at the moment because I want to learn how to film things, just more mainly to use the camera, but also because it would help me in front of the camera too. So yeah, as I said, I love playing music. I don't know what it is, but it's just, I can't stop creating.
Yes,
in
you
my
are a
head.
very creative person, so you all continuously
Yeah,
work on that.
continuously. It's just there all the time, and there are days which I'm like, oh, I can't do anything here, I just want to do something, and then and that's why when something happens, I'm just exploding and just give it all.
Yeah.
So it's mainly because it's where I live now.
Yeah.
It's where I am, but you can still be creative in your own space.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I love constantly be creative, because inventing, I'm inventing
So
myself.
you work and you live nearly all the year in Oman.
Yeah.
What about spending a little bit more time in Europe? Do you think that Europe could give you the opportunity to materialize all this creativity? Do you think that the life you are doing in Oman is hiding you from the artistic life?
I think a little bit does. Yeah, he's kind of not stopping me, but stopping from other. I think he's stopping other, not everyone, because I have extraordinary people who have contacted me and want to work with me in Europe, and they will pay for it to get me there. Which is amazing, because you think, wow, they really appreciate my artistry, and they really want me to work with. And I've already got 3 or 4 people who already want to work with me in Europe, which is not stopping them. And so imagine if I was in Europe, then there will be quite a lot of opportunity, but obviously it's cost for them as well.
Yes.
It's flight tickets, and then it's accommodation, and especially in Italy, I had a couple of projects, but they said, I'm sorry, we can't pay for your flight, and you lose those, and obviously I pick and choose now, I'm not going to say, I pick and choose, but even if I think the work is not maybe on what I normally do, I take the opportunity to do it, because it's food, it's culture, it's something extra that I'm going to discover. So that's why I like doing it. Yeah.
So the person that you are today, the great important person that you became today, it is thanks also to your mother, because it's your mother who had the input, the idea to open this new door of ballet since you were a child.
Yeah.
You now, as a mother, would you give the same opportunity to your daughter?
Well, it's very interesting, because at the beginning, Maya started, I think Maya loves ballet. She loves music, she loves dance, she's very creative, she's very good of things like that. And she started doing ballet classes, and she really enjoyed it. But one day I said to her, do not do it because of me. You have to do it because you love it, because you want to do it. I know you like it, but you have to want to do that. So she stopped. Okay. And I said to her, it's good that you tried. It's good that you like it. But you don't have to do it for me, because, I'm a dancer. And so I said, you have to choose what you like to do. So she chose, okay, I want to do tennis. Fine, let's start tennis. And she's still remaining doing tennis because she loves doing tennis. But then one day, now that she's growing up, we kind of let her choose what she likes to do. I didn't push her to play the piano. I don't push her to do something that she doesn't want to do. So then this year she said, okay, I want to learn the piano. So it's fine, let's learn the piano. Because I think it's very important that they try, you know, when I was her age, I knew exactly what I wanted at that time. Okay. And she knows what she wants now. She said to me, I want to be an engineer. Okay, because we knew that, because she is very creative and she likes building houses. She loves Lego, she loves miniature stuff, she likes drawing. And so this year she's very convinced. She said, I want to be an engineer. I want to create, you know, I love doing houses. And that's fine, because I said, I'm glad you know what you like, because then, but I'm not pushing you to do anything, you know, like she wanted to do football now, do football. You know, maybe she's going to do football and she's not going to like it anymore, you know, or maybe she will love it.
You just let her discover what she...
I think so. I think it's the best.
Yes, you give
because
her all
for
the
me,
freedom.
I knew I love ballet. For me, I knew I love ballet. You know, I went because I like ballet. You know, I want to do it.
Yes.
But we kind of let her. There was a point which she wanted to stop tennis, and I said, she said, I want to stop because I'm not good enough. And we said, no. I said, do not give up straight away when you think you're not good enough.
Yes.
So some things like that, we try to teach her that you shouldn't give up too soon. Yes. So that we pushed her to keep going with the tennis, and then she loves it. Obviously, she's very good.
What is your daughter's opinion when she sees you dance in a video?
Okay, when she sees my performance, and she saw me dancing and she saw my acting, she ran up to me and she goes, you were amazing. She loves it. You're amazing. You really are amazing. I'm so proud of you, Mom. You're just incredible. But then if we talk about it, then she goes, she goes, oh, here we go again.
You know, you never know. She is maybe too young now. How old is she?
She's 10.
She's 10. No, just give her 2 years. Yeah, she's still very, very child. Just give her a little bit of time, and maybe she will make up her mind. And maybe she will return to the beginning when she
Who knows?
Yeah. You never know. You never know. But always give the freedom. You know, you never push her. So now we are nearly reaching the...
No, I push her. I only push her not to give up. That's the thing. Only push her not to give up. Yeah, sorry.
Now that we are reaching the end of our beautiful interview, and first I must thank you for your great patience. You know that the interview is going to be broadcasted on YouTube and in the Ballet International and on Facebook also, always with your permission.
Yes.
What is a message that comes from your heart to the young dancers of today? You know, as you see ballet as a professional ballerina, and as you see the schools and the technique of today, and what is the hope that you give to these young dancers, and the love that they must apply to cherish this technique and this art of the performing art? What is the message?
Well, my message is obviously, if you love it, don't give up.
Yes.
and for me, one of the things that I always say to students, especially, but also even professional, is just to be you, who you are. Don't try to become someone else. And then show your art through your heart. So, you know, so, and that's the message that we give to the human being, to everyone. So it's not so much what people tell you what to do, is
Yes.
what you want to do. So it's very important that the art doesn't become mechanic, doesn't become
Repetitive and mechanic, yeah.
And mechanic, but it's from your soul. So so everything you do it from the really your art. And as I said, you know,
Yes.
if you want to do it, don't give up and keep doing it, you know. So and even if you know, especially for classical dancers or dancers who may not reach what they thought that they will reach, don't stop because of that, because the art that you learn during the school time, you can bring it to something else.
Yes.
So that will never stop.
Yes. And
Will never stop.
yes.
So that's what I always.
Yes. So, and what is the last message that you would or wish that you would express to the Ballet International members, groups, that all the people are watching you, and you as a prominent ballerina, which is, you are the first great artist who is, as a dancer, who is participating to this interview, because I always made interview with great teachers with, you know, some different countries, but you are the first ex-former Royal Ballet ballerina. So it's a great honor to have you. So what is your message to the group of Ballet International?
First of all, I want to thank you so much for inviting me, and it's been so lovely to speak to you, and it's been such a lovely and very fun interview. I really enjoyed it. I just, my message to you all is, I hope I have inspired you, sorry, my English, inspire you to something that you love doing, and to, yeah, motivate. It's the motivation of my story, and not just as a principal dancer of the Royal Ballet, but as a human being. I hope I have inspired you and gave you some wonderful thoughts for the things that you love. Doesn't have to be necessarily just ballet dancer, but anything else. Because my message is not, you know, it's not just for ballet dancers, but it's also a general message to people that I hope there is an inspiration, that motivation.
It's a beautiful message that you are giving, a beautiful image of you, because many people have seen you only on stage, but I don't think that many people are going to see you talk. So the image that you have given today, it's you know, it's a total different thing that when you see people on an interview and while you see them on stage. It's a different picture. Outside, yeah. Because people, you know, when they see a former principal ballerina, the ballerina is like a little bit like Marianela Nunes, you know, it's very difficult to get in touch with those people. But you gave the imprint of being a very open person, very simple person, and a great person also. So this is why I thank you, and you have given to me a great opportunity to discover how a principal ballerina behaves, because I have been working also with other ballet companies, with important ballet dancers, but you are different. You have something different from others.
Thank you so much. Thank
This is
you.
what I appreciate.
Well, it's very important that the thing is, yes, people see me on stage, but what they see on stage, obviously, if I play a different character or something, but there's always like something about me there.
Yes.
By why should I be different outside?
Yes.
So that's important to keep that modesty and human, we're all human, we're all the same. So sharing for me my story, I would even listen to someone else's story. It's very important. I think it's very important, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed and to meet you soon.
I hope we are going to meet someday. You are always welcome to contact me whenever you wish. And I hope that life will help us both to meet, and why not work together?
Why not?
we never know. Madam Mara, I will leave you a kind message in Italian also, because I know there are many Italian people. So, mille grazie Mara Galeazzi per aver partecipato a questo meraviglioso interview, e sono sicuro che tanta gente lo seguirà con tanto affetto e con tanta passione.
Grazie, buona giornata e a presto.
Thank you.
Un abbraccio.
My best regards.
Ciao.
My best regards to your family. Bye bye.
Same to you. Take care. Bye.